Today on Brilliance Business TV, we have Nicole Beissler. Nicole was a highly paid executive in the corporate world. She has held international workshops, coached executives, travel the world happy and successful outside, but empty inside. Stay tuned. Welcome to Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. I am your host, Mark Stephen Pooler. We have a wonderful guest today, Nicole Beissler. Interesting story, interesting career. Stay tuned. We are streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. We're also on the E360 TV network. We're also on mspnewsglobal.com. We're also on Amazon TV, Fire TV, Android, Roku, and many more. And we're also on Business Innovators Radio Network. I just want to make an official shout out to our show sponsors, Dreamweaver, Artist, Ranch. So let's bring in our incredible guest, Nicole Beissler. Hi, Nicole. Welcome to Brilliance Business TV.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. I'm really looking forward to a conversation with you today. My first question, Nicole, just share with our audience a little bit about yourself, your background, and what you do.
Sure. Well, basically, you mentioned it already in the beginning. I was a highly paid, successful career woman. And in 2020, I hit rock bottom. So basically, I traveled the world. I held workshops over the world, everything what you can imagine. And then suddenly I was like, right, where do I want to go? Is this really what my heart desires? What my soul wants? Is this what I came here to do? And well, end of story. Now I'm a coach. Well, I was a coach before. I did that journey a long time ago, 2011, but that's a different story for a different day. Yes, as said, now I'm a coach. I'm having retreats here in Spain. I'm helping people to reconnect to their soul.
Thank you for sharing that, Nicole. And isn't it common for people to go through rock bottom, but then it spirals them into a new direction for the positive? I know in my own life, when I've hit rock bottom a couple of times, it's really sometimes a blessing in disguise. It doesn't feel like it at the time, but it really can be. So my next question, when and how did you realize that what you have built up on the outside gives you neither freedom or happiness?
Yes, as mentioned already briefly, I think 2011, when I escaped for 3 months, sabbatical to Peru and worked in an orphanage, I already realized there's something wrong in our Western view of living life. And you said it beautifully. Yeah, most of the time we have to hit rock bottom. And I always say the caterpillar has to die before the butterfly can live.
Yes.
So when I was in Peru, I saw people, literally living on the streets, but they were so happy. And I thought, well, all the money in the world, all what you have on the outside is not really bringing you the happiness. The happiness is inside.
I agree totally. Once you are happy on the inside, the outside transforms automatically as well. Now, how has your perfectionism affected you, and what does that have to do with past trauma and the heart?
That's a beautiful question, Mark. Yes, I used to be very perfect. I think I am. However, now I can see, when it's for good and when it's really coming unhealthy. Because perfectionism always is a sign when you are too perfect, you want to be
Yes,
always the best, is a sign for trauma in your past. Because when you live through trauma, you always try to control you because you don't want to live that again. You really want to overcome that and you want to have the control of your life. So basically, what you're going to do is you focus again on the outside rather on healing in the inside and looking really on things what you can control. And eventually that's what brought me in 2020 when COVID hit, totally to total crash, because I realized I can't control the outside. I can't be perfect. And I have to heal before, I just can go into the trust, into the faith, and don't be always, you can't, you set these high levels. And I always had very high levels and I never could reach them. And I just let it go and listen to my heart again. So as said, I'm still being trying to be perfect. However, I realize, okay, now it's enough. Pareto, 80-20. Yeah, so you can't be perfect every time.
you made a great point actually. Perfectionism, it holds you back. And like you mentioned, no one is perfect, Nicole. But I myself have been on a healing journey. And I think when you do go through healing, you do transform and you do connect to source, God, the universe, however you want to word it, which opens you up to having more faith and not worrying so much as well. So it sounds like we have been on similar journeys, Nicole, and healing is an ongoing journey, but I think it's worth healing trauma. It really is, because it can really hold you back, can't it, Nicole?
Definitely, yes.
So, my next question: who do you want to become, and how do you want to accompany other human beings?
Yeah, that's a great question. In the past, I probably would give you a couple of names where I was like kind of looking up to or whatsoever. Now, I strongly believe that every human being is perfect the way it is. So
Yes,
you are perfect the way you are. And the only thing what you can change, or the only desire I'm having, is really to become the best version of myself, really
yes.
to connect with a deep soul purpose and not being someone else, because someone else is taken already. Why do I want to be a copy of someone else?
Yes, you made another great point. We're so in line here, Nicole, because some people are very competitive. They're looking to others to beat them. And I am the type of person, I'm happy for people when they're doing well, but I never look at others and be jealous or envy them. And my only competition is truly to better myself. I am my own competition, and that's it. And I think that's exactly what you're saying, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm always teaching that as well, you know, and that comes to the second point of your question. Really look back and compare yourself to who you were 2 years
Yes.
or 3 years in the past, or even longer, and see where you came from. And that journey, I really want to support others on, really to focus on their inner beliefs, on their, you know, help them grow, help them to bring their light out, because everyone has a special light inside. And
Yes.
I want to help the people to see that again, and don't, because most of them are really afraid to shine bright. And this is because they having fear of
Yes.
the reaction of the other person. But the reaction of the other person is usually their fear, because when you are shining bright, you show them their shadows and they don't want to look. So,
Yes.
and that's where I'm supporting the people on, that they're strong enough that they can hold their light, even if their face from the outside kind of like bringing people down again, so that they have the courage of standing up and being their authentic true.
Getting rid of fear and doubt. I've been on a long healing journey, and I've really trained my mind now to really not let my ego talk me out of things or talk negative to me. And don't get me wrong, I have to control it. It's something you have to keep on top of your thoughts. But your beliefs are so important to attract any kind of abundance, any kind of happy future. It all does come from your belief systems, Nicole. I have had to retrain my whole belief systems to know that I'm worthy of what I desire, and things like that. It's so important. And I think so many people do listen to those negative, doubtful thoughts, and they're not prepared to do the inner healing work to get through that. Do you agree with me?
Absolutely. I think we were on the same healing path, Mark.
Nicole, we need to go to a commercial break, so please stay where you are, and I'll let you sort your camera out as well, because the camera has gone
Oh,
off. Thank you everyone for joining us for part one of Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. We're in conversation with Nicole Beissler, a great conversation so far. Stay tuned.
Hello, this is Stephen Buckner, and just wanted to tell you I support the Dreamweaver project. It's a great project where, you know, artists such as myself will be able to come together and basically collaborate, and to have a retreat to feel accepted and welcome. And that's something that artists here and around the world could always benefit from. So I just want to say, please support the Dreamweaver project. I think it's for a great cause, and I salute all the independent artists out there and artists that are signed as well. And have a wonderful day.
Welcome back to Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. We're in conversation with Nicole Beissler. Welcome back, Nicole.
thank you, Mark.
So, Nicole, intuition is the language of the soul. When were you brave enough to listen and act accordingly?
First of all, you have to acknowledge that your soul is talking to you. And a lot of people overhearing that. And it was the same for me. I think the first time was when I really quit my job to go to Peru. And it wasn't planned that way. It was really planned as a sabbatical. And when it came to signing contracts, etc., it was not possible. You know how companies working, you should postpone it or whatever. And there was this little tiny voice inside of me. And you mentioned earlier the ego. The ego was big. The ego was straight saying, oh my gosh, yeah, when you lose your job, you can't do that. You have a highly paid job and, blah, 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 blah. But there was this tiny one talking and saying, but it will be good for you. And I decided to quit. And it was just like, just going, well, okay, well, I went outside of the office of my boss and I typed off my resignation letter, went back and I said, well, sorry for that, but yeah, then we need to go different ways. And the second time it was really when I realized, when I had my burnout and fall into severe depression, that I realized during the healing path, again, this voice were talking to me when it came to the point, like kind of working 3 or 4 hours a day to go back to your normal work pattern and etc. And that little voice was saying, you won't be happy. That's not what you are looking for. And again, everyone around me said, are you crazy? We are having the worst pandemic what we ever faced, and jobs are not available like this, and you going to quit a good one? And it was worth it.
And that took courage and strength, Nicole. And I love your points, actually, because I think the ego does try to hold you back, but when you start listening to your inner guidance and your soul, and when you do the healing work and you start reprogramming those beliefs, your ego starts to support you then, because it's going off positive programming rather than negative programming. So it does get easier as you go on. But I know when I was going through a lot of hardship and I had negative beliefs, the ego was not supporting me. As I'm going through my journey, the ego now is supporting me more because it's coming from better programming. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Because especially this talking to your ego as well, kind
Telling
of
it
not
to shut up.
ignoring it, saying, I hear you, I feel you, however,
It's
I'm
not
doing
me
it anyway. Yeah.
I
And
hear
it's getting
you.
better. Definitely. It's supporting you on the journey. Yes.
You describe your programs as holistic. What does that mean?
Well, let's talk for the body. When you have cancer or broken bone, you usually see a doctor and he's healing you on that curse, on cancer, on a broken bone or whatever you have, even flu. But that's not holistic, because every illness is having a reason in your soul. Because if you don't listen to your soul, your body will get eventually sick. And that happened to me a couple of times. So basically, my programs are focusing on every 3 parts, on the body, on the soul, and the spirit. Because when you go to normal coaching, you work on limiting beliefs, you work on, you know, the ego stuff and so on. But again, then the body is not coming into, or the spirit is not coming into. So basically what I'm doing is I'm looking into all three parts, and I'm combining that with yoga practice, with meditation, and obviously with coaching. So that's what I mean with a holistic view. Even blood will be checked.
Very nice. And one of your offers is a holistic retreat in Spain. There are so many retreat offers, Nicole. Why is yours so unique?
Yeah, again, I mean, because I'm focusing on all three parts. However, I would say the location as well. Location, location, location. It's a beautiful spot where you can calm down. And on top of that, you may know that, especially when you did a lot of healing, you probably went on different courses, you probably went on a retreat as well. And how is it? You're coming back into your normal environment, and everything, or let's say part of what you learned there, you can't cope with in your normal environment where you are in. So why is it so special what I'm doing? Because I have a 3 months afterwards program. So I make really sure that your transformation is sustainable and not just, oh yeah, we have fun 6 days away, we transform a little bit, and then you go back into your normal environment and yeah, nothing changed. And this is what I want to prevent. So you get 3 months afterwards, a regular checkup, a regular coaching, that you make really sure that the transformation will last.
Nice. And could you share your best 3 tips for us all to get back our strength and courage and energy?
The first one would be really to learn to say no. Yes. And that's something what a lot of people can't do, especially when they face trauma in the past. They kind of people pleaser and really like trying to help others first. And for that, I always say, when you are in an airplane, the flight attendants, when they do their show in the beginning, you know, they always say, take the mask for yourself first and then help others. And that's exactly what I mean with learn to say no, because every no is a yes to yourself. So when you don't feel to do something, don't do it. Just say no. The second one would be checking your inner circle. You would be surprised how much people, and I see that on a daily basis with my coachees, living in or having an inner circle, bring them down rather than lift them up.
Yes.
And this is so crucial. And I always say, I rather be on my own than having people around me bringing me down. So get rid of people who bring you down rather than lift you up.
That's a good one.
And the third one, again, is something for your soul. So every time when you do something, or when you have to make a decision or whatever, is to question yourself, what has this to do with the agenda of my soul? Because everything around us is energy. And if it's not connected to what your soul really wants, what your heart is telling you, it costs you a lot of energy, and that brings you down. So if you want to find your strength, your energy back, always question yourself, what I'm doing right now, has this in any way something to do with the agenda of my soul? If you don't know it, then it's probably not the right path.
Excellent tips, Nicole. That will support a lot of people out there. Now, I know you are offering a consultation. Do share more so that our audience know how they can connect with you.
Yeah, definitely. So when they go on my website, there's a possibility of having a consultation call, a free consultation call, to find out what program works best. If the retreat I'm offering in Spain is one of the things, or a coaching or 6-week program, whatever it is, or you just sign up for a free 3-day quick fix course for some ideas how to get back your energy, whatever, find me, connect with me. I'm more than happy to support.
I would encourage everyone to go to coaching.nicolebeissler.com. That's coaching.nicolebeissler.com. Once more, coaching.nicolebeissler.com. Nicole, I have thoroughly enjoyed having a conversation with you today. Thank you so much for being my guest.
Thank you, Mark, for having me. It was a pleasure.
The pleasure's been all mine. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. Until next time, bye for now.